In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a 100% automated Midjourney content approval system that will take a recent article or piece of news, run it through a system, create a viral post for that, bring it through to an approval dashboard. And you remember on Midjourney, when you get an image, you get like 1, 2, 3, 4. You get to select if you like image 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe you just want to reroll. You hit reroll, that will then send the image again. But if you like image 1, 2, 3, 4, that will then go ahead, create that image for you, run it through our series of prompts, and at the end of it, you have the entire thing that will then populate in an incredible document with a viral post for your specific social media platform. And this just means that you can get incredibly epic, personalized images, all automated from one single dashboard. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jack, and this YouTube channel is all about incredible AI. It's about the cutting edge of the automations, and most importantly, it's about the stuff that actually works. With all that in mind, let's grab that coffee. Mine's right here, and let's really jump in. If this is a video that you're watching for the first time and you haven't seen my last video here on how to get incredible Midjourney images, that video, I'd encourage you to go and watch that first. That video will show you step by step how to set the Midjourney automation up, all the tools that you need. It's a really great video, and basically this video is following that. That's like the level 1. This video is a level 2, and we'll show you actually now we've got all the connections in. How do we create something that's an automated approval system? So go ahead and watch that one. We're going to be waiting here for you when you come back. And when you are back, grab that coffee and let's jump straight in. So if you've just joined us again, welcome back. Now, the only thing you need for this automation that wasn't covered in that last video is access to something called Airtable. And it's super easy to set up. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Now, you've got everything you need. I'm going to first of all show you how this works step by step so you can see. So I'm going to run the whole automation once, and then I'll explain exactly how you can do the same thing. So we've got, just for your context, 4 parts to this. We've got the first leg of the journey. The first leg of the journey has a trigger which connects to RSS. It grabs the latest article. We grab the file. It does the parsing. It goes to a LinkedIn agent, creates a viral post for us, sends it over to our cool Google Doc, which is great. You can go anywhere you want to. Then it creates an image. This then grabs the image. And what that does is send the URL of that image to our dashboard. So then we can click on the image, take a look at it, and we can say, do I like 1, 2, 3, or 4, or do I just want to re-roll the whole thing? So we then decide, look, I want image X, and you kind of come in and you select that. Once that then happens, it goes through to this automation, which is looking for our change, then sends it down a router, basically based on what we want. Is it a re-roll? Is it upscale 1, upscale 2, upscale 3, or upscale 4? And then that goes to the fourth and final part, where it then grabs that new image and sends it over to our awesome document. Sounds a bit more complicated than it is, but I promise you, I'll show you exactly how to do everything step by step. So you'll have no unanswered questions by the end of this. So let's hit run once on this. We're gonna wait for new data. I'm gonna come over to the left, and then I'm gonna hit run once. Awesome. So now it's grabbed something in the RSS feed. We've taken that file, it's been parsed. It's running through our LinkedIn GPT assistant, which is excellent. And that's gonna go through to the Midjourney bot to find and create for us a specific prompt. And I should say, by the way, guys, all the prompts, all the blueprints, everything that you need to run this automation is available down below in the school community. It's all available in our classroom. You can access everything you need to, including the agent for creating the Midjourney prompts and basically everything you need for this automation, as well as the ability to upload it, which is always good. So this is completed, that's done that. Now it's gonna come through to this webhook for us. And then once this is complete, we should see in the Midjourney another thing come through. So just to make this simple, I'm just gonna delete these. Amazing. And I'm gonna come back here. Great. And obviously at any time, as you remember from the last video, we can see the progress happening in real time. So we know that that's working. And I'd encourage you to have that always loaded up in the background. So this is all loading up. And now we're gonna wait for it to be caught by the webhook. And when it does that, we can then go through our approval system in our dashboard, which will be excellent. And obviously with all this sort of stuff, guys, the capabilities of Midjourney is just insane. I mean, the number of things you can do is crazy. Now look, it's grabbed that, it's come through to the Airtable. I now go over to the Airtable and look. Awesome. So I click on this URL, let's see what it is. So we've got crypto, 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 crypto. It all looks pretty good. If I go over to my document, I should see a post there. Awesome, great. There we go. We've got all this cool information, perfect. So we come back over now to this. Let's just say for the purposes of this, I quite like the look of image 1. Great, so I come back over, I look at my decision, and I say I want image 1. And I come back over to our scenario, okay? Let's just auto-align this. Come here, I'm gonna run this once. Come here, and then we'll run this. Excellent, so look at this. It's filtered, and because I select upscale 1, it's gone straight to the top. Then I come here, it's grabbed that, and then sent it to Google Doc. So I come to the Google Doc, I should see my image appearing at the bottom, and there we go, guys. That's it. Now, I could have rerun that. I could have said, no, redo the whole automation again, and it would have done exactly that. So that's everything that's been completed. And guys, essentially what this enables you to do is have full autonomous control of the images that Midjourney creates in your automations. I actually think this is phenomenally cool. It's like a step up from the last video, but once you've got the Midjourney bit integrated, if you want that full control and you don't just want to go with one image, this really is the next level. So we're now going to build this all from scratch. Obviously, if you're part of the community, all you ever need to do is come down, click more, input the blueprint, and all these things will just appear and it'll save you a ton of time. But I'm going to build it from scratch for you so you can also see how this process works from the beginning to the end. So I want to start by just outlining the chessboard for you for this automation to give you a little bit of context, and I touched on it briefly before. You've got page 1, which is creates the post and creates the image. You have automation 2, which basically grabs that image and sends it to our Airtable. You've got part 3, which is the Airtable. You have part 4, which is basically the decision you've made. Either do you want to reroll or upscale. And then part 5 is the grabbing of that image and upscaling it. Sounds a little bit complicated, but I promise you it will make perfect sense when I run through this with you. Okay, so let's head to make.com and build this automation from scratch. So I'm going to call this one new level. And we're going to give it a little emoji. Let's give it a lovely heart, and we're going to say 1 out of 4. Cool, so let's name it and we can keep track of it. So for the purposes of this automation, I'm going to run it off an RSS feed. Today, let's give it a different RSS feed, okay? Again, the last video, if this is all sounding like, what's an RSS feed? Go check out that last video and it'll explain everything for you. But you know, in reality, guys, you can use any RSS feed that you want to. So let's grab a topic. Let's do something a little bit different today, shall we? Let's go for something in the fashion space. As you can tell, I'm in the jungle. I've got the jungle behind me with this top, so I'm feeling very, very jungle-like. All right, does this look cool? You know what? Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's say feed, and let's copy it. Awesome. So we come over. We're going to do RSS for this one, but again, it could be any trigger you want. So I've built this so it's configurable for you. I just want to build it in a way that just gives you the most amount of options possible for your use cases. So look, let's go for retrieve RSS feed items. We're going to hit the URL. Now, as I always say, you can retrieve, which is, hey, bring back everything for the last 10, 15, 20, 100 records, or watch for, which is as soon as something posts, bring it down. Based on what you want to do, you can go for either one of them. A lot of people go for retrieve, and they just run this automation every like 8 hours. Like, bring me the last 10 every 8 hours. For the purposes of this, I've gone with, and I'll show you here just to make it really easy for you. Come back down here. I've gone for retrieve just to make this automation easier, but if you want to watch and do high volume, that's also an option. Excellent. So retrieve RSS items. We enter the URL that we just copied from over here. We come back. By the way, links for everything is going to be down below for you, so you can just click and go. Maximum number of return items, just 1, because I want to make this automation friendly. Cool. So then let's run this module once. This may feel a bit like deja vu if you've just seen it in the last video, but it's always good to refresh our memory, I think. It's always good. Get that muscle memory built up. Cool, so we grab that, then we come here. The next thing we want to do, of course, is to download the file, right? So let's do HTML. Excuse me, get a file, HTTP. Click on this, come over here, grab the URL, click OK. Perfect. Once we've done that, we're going to come over here and we're going to do for HTML to text. Cool. So we know this, right? We've got the RSS feed item, loads of website gobbledygook. We've got the HTTP get a file, which is going to grab all of the text from that page, but it's going to be in HTTP, which is of no use to us. So we come on HTML, we come over, and then we hit data, and then we click OK, and let's just run this whole thing once, okay? I know, it's okay, transform is fine. We've grabbed the article, we've got all the information from that URL, and we've just converted it into text. So if I click here, I should see a long string of information. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of information that, isn't it? Like, look at this. I think it's because like it's a news article with an incredible amount of stuff on there. Okay, cool. Perfect. Now, last video, I did a LinkedIn bot. This one, I'm going to do a Twitter bot. And if you're unfamiliar with how to build that, you just head over to platform.openai.com/assistance. And once you're there, you're going to click on create. The best place to get all the information for this is, well, in my school community. If you come over to Classroom, if I come down to prompts and agents, and then I can see Twitter on the left, and then this is our generation 3 model. We click on that, and this is all the data we need. And then we come back over, we paste it in, we say, hey, act as an info and tour expert in insert industry. I'm doing fashion today, so I put fashion there. You'll be provided with a piece of content. This could be an article, summary, a LinkedIn post, so it'll be versatile for whatever you need. Prompt, please read the following content, and then it's got all the explainers in there and all the examples and stuff. Awesome, and then we'll call this Twitter Build Together. And of course, do we want let's put a little diamond on there for good measure. Ace GPT-4 Turbo is okay for the purposes of this. Excellent. Okay, cool. And then let's go back over now to our automation, and you click on assistant and define it. And if you're not seeing it there, guys, just come up here and hit the refresh icon, because you've just created it. It just may need to refresh its list to make sure it gets it. Awesome. Then we click on message, and then let's scroll over so you can see. And the message we want is the HTML to text. Excellent. And then we're going to click OK. Perfect. Now let's rename this, for example. We're going to rename this one Twitter Agent. And I think Twitter Agent needs a little bit of a bird. You know, I've not really fully adopted the X thing yet. I think, what do they say that X is? Like excrements is what they call them, right? Would you call them, tell me down below, would you call them excrements or tweets? Tell me, I don't know. I'd love to know what you're calling X in the moment. Let me know in the comments. And so the next thing we need now is to create the prompt for Midjourney. So we're going to zip back over now to my Classroom. We're going to come down to image and video, and using Midjourney make perfect. There's the guide, there's all the stuff we need, and then click on this Midjourney prompt. Awesome. And I've just come back to the dry version of it just so you can get a good visual look of what it does. So essentially, as you remember from the last video, it takes a text, and it has this format of subject, action, setting, additional details, and we give it some prompts about what an example input and output text would be, and basically some of the details. So we have the subject, the action, the setting, the additional details. We copy all of this, like so. Copy all, come back over, and then we go over to our make scenario, cool. And then we click on this, and then we're gonna go for message and assistant. And if you remember, guys, I'm using message and assistant just because I plan to be using this across multiple different automations. It'll just save me some time in doing that. So click on this, click on Midjourney bot. And I know that like I'm not explaining every single detail as I would do normally, and I'm only doing that because this video really it's the first of its kind where it just follows on from the last video. So if you really need to watch that last video, and this will make it just a lot easier, just so people have seen it, they can kind of jump in and run with this. It's like a part to it. Cool, so we've got the Midjourney bot, we select that, and if you haven't made him, as just a gentle reminder, come over here, create a new one, enter the prompt, give it a name, Midjourney bot, with a load of T's on it, and then that will just save. Cool. So we select our Midjourney prompt, and then the message that we're going to give it is from the Twitter agent. And we're doing that just because it's going to be a bit easier and less tokens. And then we click OK. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So what is next? Well, as you might have guessed, we're going to add it to the Google Docs. So this part of the automation should look exactly the same as the last one. So come down here, click add, excuse me if I type in paragraph, insert a paragraph to a document. Awesome. We click on that. We select the document that we want. I've created one that said Midjourney. Cool. And we select the document, Midjourney automation, and then appended text, come down, and we want the result from the Twitter agent. Awesome. And then we click OK, great. And then we do one final more here. Great, sweet. And this is going to be our user API. And of course, we just come down to imagine. Perfect. And then we enter all the stuff that we need. Now, before we do that, we now need to create the second part of our scenario. And of course, to this, we need to create a new webhook. So let's open up a new browser in Meg.com. And one of the reasons why I'm rebuilding this from scratch is I thought it'd just be easier to follow than taking the previous one and butchering it around a little bit. All right, cool. So what do we call this one? New level 1 out of 4. So copy new level 1 out of 4. We come over here, new level. You might have guessed this one, 2 out of 4. Okay, perfect. So now that's done. This person's very rudely interrupted our conversation. They need to stay with that. I'm trying to get really big on like leaving phones out the room when like you're spending time with friends and stuff. I just think it's so important. Cool, so that's done. We now need to create a webhook. So click on this one. webhook. And what we're looking for, of course, is custom webhook. Great. So let's add a new webhook. We'll call this one new level 2 out of 4. Great. And that is decent. And then all we do is we copy the address to the clipboard. Then we come back. Okay. Webhook type, post data once generation is complete. We don't want a million updates on what's going on. Post data once generation is complete. Webhook URL, in other words, great, I've got the image. Where do you want me to send it to? We want you to send it to that. And then we've got the prompt to generate the image, which is just going to be the output from the Midjourney bot assistant. Then we hit result. And then we click OK. Now, we built quite a lot. We should definitely test this. So we're going to auto align it. We're going to save. So now that's done. I'm going to come on here. Now, when you're testing your webhook, guys, run the webhook first and then come back and start your scenario. Just so the webhook's actively looking. In reality, it'll be looking 24/7. These webhooks, guys, they don't sleep at anything. It's incredible. So run once. That's going to wait for data. Now, the only thing that has that webhook address is this scenario. So nothing should be pinging it off. Let's click run once. Let's see how we get. RSS feeds grab the article. Out of curiosity, what is it on? 4 female fashion icons, look for something. Okay, cool. That's going to be an interesting one to see, actually. I like how we should definitely change the industry up every single time we do one of these automations, just to work our way around. And if we look at here, right, look, that has failed. Why has that failed? So apparently, this has failed because the request is too large for GPT-4 Turbo. Great, so let's have a look at this HTML to text. Let's have a look at this long string. This is preposterously long. This is absolutely insane. So what that tells me is that the RSS feed that we've got is giving us an article that is just insane. So for example, if I just come back over here, for example, okay, let's look at the URL it gave us. Okay, it's one of those websites that like never, ever, 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 ever. I mean, look at this. I could be here for 20 minutes. So what do we need to do? We need to go back over to RSS. And I want to include this, by the way, just so that if you get this issue, and it's like, my goodness, why is this failing? You'll know exactly why. So what I'm going to do is, you see this, I'm going to come over now to settings. Excuse me, whereas it's on filters. All right, great. Now, hercampus.com, I'm going to come down and blacklist them. I'm sorry, hercampus.com. I'm sure you're great guys. But you know what? We want only the best in these automations. So you're gone. You're out of here. And I just want to double check that it is actually banned, and it is perfect. Come back over. Now, the filters are going to be baked in automatically to the XML, so we don't need to recopy the text. It will just know what our filters are. So let's come back over to our image, and then let's run this whole thing again. Okay, cool. And then we'll see if it's managed to fail a second time. It definitely shouldn't do so. But this is the kind of troubleshooting you've got to do when you run through this and figure out why it's not working. And, you know, you build up a list and improve your RSS feeds. If you're just grabbing a normal article, maybe you wouldn't even need to do that. But I really want to include these in so you get a realistic view of how you troubleshoot and overcome those problems. Scenario 2, this should be grabbing the webhook for us. You just want to make sure the status is okay, and cool, it has, right? Sweet. It's giving us a prompt. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great. Now that's done, the next thing we need to do now is just to recap, okay? What have we done? Viral article or trigger. We've grabbed the article, we've created a viral tweet off the back of it. We've then created a prompt off the back of that to get a good image. We've added the tweet to a document that's stored away, that's locked away. Everything now from this point on is giving you configurability on your images. This has created the image for us. So then here we've grabbed the image, which is great, and it's this feature of posting the webhook and grabbing it. So what we now need to do is build your ability to audit and monitor what essentially you want to manage, okay? So to do that, we're gonna head over to airtable.com. Now, when we're here, we're going to create a brand new page together. So come down to bottom left and click on a page, start from scratch, select a workspace. We'll just go building customers. It's irrelevant for our purposes. And then what is the nomenclature for these designs? The new levels, right? So let's keep this one up, shall we? We'll call this one Midjourney new level. All right. And of course, it's got to be purple. Has to be purple. Can't be anything but purple. And a little star on there. Ace. Okay, cool. So then we need a couple of fields here, right? Now, this is where it gets really cool. So the first field I want you to add here, guys, is going to be URL approval. It remembers. And then you come down, search for URL. Awesome. Perfect. Excellent. So that's where the URL is going to go. The second one I want you to add is something called hash. So each image that's produced has a unique hash. So for example, if I come back here to show you this, how do we know what the hash, like this is the image, right? But like, how do we know what that physically looks like? That's a really tough one to know. And just out of curiosity, let's test out what the result is. So we've got the thing here. Let's open up a page and see what image it gave us. Perfect. Guys, look at that. That is Zdenya all day. I'm amazed at how good that is. Like, you imagine throwing out a tweet with that image, you'd have thought, dude, like, that's ridiculous. So you might look at this and say, I like number 4. I think that looks most like Zdenya or whatever. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just absolute insanity. And the style that I've made in Midjourney prompt, by the way, is more of an iPhone natural organic style, but you can dial it up, dial it down, based on whatever you want to do. So we'll say goodbye to Zdenya for the moment. Goodness me, can you imagine my wife walks in at that moment? I'm looking at these suspect images. Sorry, Campus, we broke up. We're no longer working together at the moment. Cool. So we've got this. Now let's get back to our table a little bit, all right? So we've got the URL approval, we've got the hash, which is specific to the image. The next thing we're going to need here, and bring status over here. Click on the status one, and then let's just edit the field. Now, we want 5 options, okay? We want 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 5, it's reroll. And reroll. And then save. Cool. So basically, every time now, do you want to... In fact, let me come back and just bring that image up again. I know we said goodbye to Zdenya, but we need to bring it back. Bring it back just to just to cover this. All right, cool. So let's have a look. Okay, look. Let me duplicate this so we can get a new tab open. All right, cool. So basically, just for your reference, top left goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So top left, top right to bottom left to bottom right. This will basically say, look, I want image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, or reroll. We'll reshake them all up to do something different. Cool. Then what we need to add is 2 crucial tabs. So right click on this one, edit field, and I want you to click on user and type in created time. And then here, created time, save that. Awesome, and open a new one. And again, we're looking for last modified time. And then the field name, last modified time. And again, guys, as always, the reason we do that is because if we've got like 20 different URLs and we're looking at URL 7, last modified time will help us to know, great, Jack is talking about, or you and I are talking about URL 7. Now we need to start populating that stuff into our table. So we click on add, we look for Airtable. Look for Airtable, and we're gonna look for create a record. Cool, all right then, let's find out the records we're creating. The base is gonna be, what did we say? Midjourney new level, excellent. And then it's gonna populate all our fields once we select the table, which is beautiful, and we love that. We love that very much. URL approval, we click on this, and look at this, okay? You're looking for result, URL, there you go, bam, got it. The hash, really important, is hash, it's not account hash, it's hash. And that's all we need from that automation. Then we click OK. Perfect. Now, leave that here for 1 second, then enter another tab, and we're gonna call this one, new level. You might guess it. It's 3 out of 4. Okay, that's cool. We love that. We think that's great. Now this one is where we're gonna be building this. And if you don't know, by the way, guys, if you hold like control, you can actually select anything you want. You then can control C, come over here into anything you want and control V and bring the whole thing over. But you know what? That's cheating. We're gonna get rid of it. We want to build this one from scratch, right? So control and then get rid of them. Okay, cool, right. So we come back here then, new level. So what do? We're looking for Airtable and we're looking for watches records. So now we're saying, look, again, just re-summarizing. You found something new, you've created a viral tweet post from it, and you've asked to create an image. We've grabbed that image and we've thrown it into this table. We'll look at the table, we decide, what do we want? Do we want image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, or reroll? Then, based on what happens there, this one kicks in. So I'm just gonna rerun the whole thing together, just so you get a good sense of it. We come in here, we click run once, we'll let that roll, we come to the level 1, and we hit run once. And we can go through the whole process together. And what we will see is we will see a hash appear, we'll see a URL appear, and we will also see a new tweet appear as well on top of that. So let's go through and wait for this all to join up here. Excellent, excellent, that's done. We're now waiting for the webhook. And bear in mind, guys, at any time, you can come over to this dashboard here, And essentially user API.api on the main dashboard will show you the progress of how things are going. If for any reason it ever fails, you can click on details and it'll explain to you why or why not that has happened. Excellent. So now we wait patiently for the thing to come across, and we can see how that's progressing nicely. It's coming over here quite well. By the way, am really excited to see how the image gen is going to progress over this year. I think it's going to be huge, especially videos. I'm going to be doing some videos soon on video generation, so you're going to want to watch out for that. And it's a quick ask, by the way, if you find this interesting or you like this content, could you do me a favor and leave like a comment or a like and push all the buttons down below? It shows YouTube that you like this kind of content. I really appreciate it, and it helps with mother algorithm, who can be very, very harsh sometimes. So cool, Airtable's done, and then we come over here and look at this, guys. It's created it for us. We've got the URL approval and we've got the hash. The hash is going to be handy in a minute, and you'll see why. So I click on URL, and there we go. More images of Zidania. Cool. So you can say, look, what do we like? Which is one that we want? Do you want to reroll? Make our decisions and sort of go from there. Excellent. So everything's working perfectly in this automation. Right, cool. And we've got the statuses. Now, before I show you the statuses, I now need to show you how we build this whole thing up. So we've got Airtable, we've got watch records. You might have guessed this bit. We're basically going through and selecting everything that we selected before. Table is table 1. Okay, and we come down. What's the trigger field? Well, the trigger field is last modified time. In other words, don't look at what's just been created. Look at what I've approved. Come down, limit 10's fine. Label field, going to be status. And then we click OK. Excellent. So here, I want to add a router. So let's see, we just go flow control, this lovely little green guy here, router, and bring him up. Nice. Okay, cool. So then this bit here, it takes about like a minute to do, but it's worth doing. I want to add a filter here, okay? And the reason for that is if I've not actually said anything, I don't want it to work. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just say that, I don't know, something's added in. This automation could start running directly. So we need to say, look, whoa, hang on a sec. Unless you see number 1, 2, 3, 4, or reroll, go no further. You shall not pass. So how do we get Gandalf in this filter? Well, basically, we right click. We click on set up a filter. I'm going to call this one approved. Okay. Now the condition is status here, almost whistling slightly there. Status, okay, is contains case insensitive 1, and then click and or rule. Okay. So what and or rule says is like either it contains 1, or it contains 2, or it contains 3, or 4, or reroll. Not and. If you had and, it'd be like you need level 1. I want you to satisfy this condition and this condition before you approve. So the second one is again status, come down, contains case insensitive 2. Now you could do is equal to. As a matter of practice, I always go case insensitive because I feel like it's broad enough just to accomplish and not get, caught up in some nonsense rules. And or come down to 3. Again, status. And or, you might see where this is going. Status, and it's 4. Cool. Except for here we need to change equal to. Let's just do contains case insensitive. Come down here. Contains case insensitive, and just double check these, by the way. Oh my goodness, like it can, like if you don't double check you select the right one, it can come back to bite you. Okay, and then finally contains case insensitive, and I'm just going to put the word re into it. Okay, and then select OK. Cool. So unless it satisfies all those conditions, it isn't coming past. So we've Gandalfed it. Okay, excellent, nice, cool. Then what do we need? Well, what we're going to build next, okay, is basically a sequence of like 5 options, right? So we have 5 different pathways, like an upscale 1, upscale 2, upscale 3, upscale 4, and a reroll. And by the way, it really annoyed me that the reroll came in second. I was like, God, that's so annoying. But we're gonna avoid that mistake in this one. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do here is gonna be the reroll. Okay, now the reroll functions differently than the other 4. So essentially, we've got 4 levels, right? Level 1, level 2, we've got the table. We've got level 3, and then this level 4 we've not built yet. Now the level 4 is the bit where we just post it straight into our document, okay? Now, if you've decided, look, I want to reroll, we actually need to send it back to this guy, because we're saying, look, retry the last step. That's what we're saying. At level 3, it's almost like a gateway, right? If I don't agree, you need to go back, retry again, and come back for approval. If I do agree, you can progress to level 4. That's a good way to think about it. So the reroll is a unique one, okay? So I click on this. I click on user API. I click on reroll. Okay, the hash. Now, you remember I said the hash would be important. This is where it comes into play. So we've got the hash there. Cool. So what do? We click on it. You come over. And we select hash. Now, the webhook URL this is going to be posted to is the webhook URL from level 2. So click on level 2 and grab it. So level 3 can either post to level 4 or back to level 2. So we copy it. I hope that makes good sense, because essentially we're just replaying the last step. Just think of the re-rollers, go back and replay the last step. We come here, but in any case, if you follow this, it'll work perfectly. So you come in, send that back down to level 2, bro. Retry again. The webhook type, of course, just let us know when it's complete. Then click OK, and we're done. Now this one, now I love to rename these ones, so call this one re-roll. And what's better than reroll? I think we need some dice. I've never used the dice emoji really too much, so cool, reroll, perfect. Now we're gonna add a filter in here, but let's do the other ones together first, okay? So let's get rid of this misbehaving module. We're gonna click on plus. Now, we're gonna look for user API one more time. Click on show more, and then we're going to go for upscale, okay? So the hash of the task needs to be upscaled. It's exactly the same thing. It's the hash here. The position of the image that needs to be upscaled is going to be 1, and the webhook where we're going to post it to. So we come on then to create level 4 automation, which I just named briefly. Click on here. Click on webhooks. Click on the second one here, custom webhook. Choose a hook. So I'm going to add a new hook. I'm going to call this one new level 4, and then let's give it a lovely blue heart. And then we click OK. Then I want you to copy the address of our fourth and final automation and come back and then enter it in here. Cool, and then click OK. That's cool, right? So then right click on this. Let's just call this one upscale 1 and then give it an emoji so it's beautiful to look at with a fire. Cool. And then just for your time, out of respect for your time, I just clone it, bring him in. Clone him, come down, whoops. It's misbehaving. Man, they love misbehaving sometimes, don't they? But you might have guessed where this is going. We're just going to clone him a couple of times just to save us. All right, let's zoom out a tiny bit so we can get him. Sweet. And then let's just hit this beautiful auto align button. Now let's just rename them. Upscale 2. New emoji. Actually, we can't do heart. We can't do the heart because that's the name of that's our naming convention for the automations, all right? Upscale 3. By the way, I'd be curious to know down below your most interesting use case for this, like how you plan on using this going forward in your automations actually, because it's such a big game changer from DALL-E if you think about it. Yeah, let's just give this one a beautiful ta-da emoji. Nice, and now we just need to click in. Position is 2, and just match up the ones that we need. Click on this guy. So for the third one's going to be 3. And then for the fourth one, it's going to be 4. You've done it. You've nailed it. Now we're just going to add a couple of filters, okay? So we're going to right click, set up filter. This one's going to be reroll with our dice emoji. What's the condition? Well, the condition is that the status, okay, contains case insensitive re. Boom. This one here, set up filter. This one's going to be upscale 1. The condition is that the status is equal to, contains case insensitive 1. Awesome. Click on this one. Bring this one over here. Click on this filter. This is going to be upscale 2. Condition is that the status contains case insensitive 2. Okay, cool. I know you might have guessed the last two, what we're going to do. But we're going to go through it together. I really want to make this as step-by-step as humanly possible for you. Upscale 3. Condition is status. Contains case insensitive 3. Cool. And then this guy here, finally. Last but by no means least, number 4. We do love you. Upscale 4. Condition is that the status contains case insensitive 4. Perfect. Now, whenever you got filters, guys, the first thing I want you to think is test. You think of the word filter, you think of the word test. Awesome. Now that's done. Let's run through the whole automation from the beginning, okay? So, We're on here, let's run once. We come back to level 1. We run the whole thing from the beginning. Now, it's most likely to be the Zidania once again, and we'll change it at the end for some diversity, because we love to get different topics in here. Because it's just pulling the most latest article from the RSS feed that isn't from that website that gave us like 1 billion words or something. Like, I never get those websites are just endless scrolls of data, endless scrolls of data. Insane. Cool. Midjourney bot's created. It's now been added to the Google Doc. So let's just check on our Google Doc. Do we have a new trend? We do. Okay, well, Zidania is no longer on top anymore. That's good to know. So level 1's complete. It's now sent it through. Let's go to our dashboard at user AI. Here we go. It's in progress. This is cool. I don't know who this person is, by the way. I'm really curious to know about that. And now we can see the prompt that we gave her. We've got the individual, what she's wearing. We've got the color. We've basically got all the different style guidelines that we've specified, which is ace. And now we're just going to wait for it to come to this webhook. Now that's going to give us a second, and we'll just wait for that for a moment to load. And I'm going to keep yapping on in the background until the progress is complete, so we can see all this happen in real time. Awesome. Okay, the progress is almost complete. So let's go back over. That's grabbed it, and now it's shot it through to Airtable. So we come back over to Airtable, and there we go. We see it. It's finally there. We've got it. So let's copy the link. Let's go over. Let's check out what the link is like and see what we think. Wow, they're beautiful images, by the way. I mean, can you imagine posting that on like any social media platforms? Insane, by the way. Oh, and just a very quick tip, by the way. The Midjourney specific guidelines that I've given this, okay? I've made the dimensions like that. If you ever wanted to change that, go into the Midjourney prompt that I gave you in my school community or in the link, or if you're making your own, just change the aspect ratios, okay? So the aspect ratios align with what you want to do. So for example, I'm just going to show you this very quickly, just so you've got it. Okay, image and video. Using Midjourney and Make. Okay, Midjourney prompt. So you see this? You see how I've specified here 16:9? You would just change that to something else. I've also built this really handy thing. So if I come down to image and video, I come down to Midjourney prompt blueprint. I've just listed down all the aspect ratios that you can get, and then also how they overlay to the different platforms that you need. So you can basically look at that and say, great, I want this. But I just want to give you that FYI, because if you give something a formatted image that isn't the right size, it will fail sometimes. So just always worth bearing in mind, okay? Cool, so we've looked at that. And what do you think? What do you think, guys? What should we go for? I think they're all beautiful images. I think number one, it just gives me a lot of style and pizzazz, and I quite like the look of it. So what I'm gonna say is status 1. So let's come in here, let's click on this. I want level 1, okay? So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna go to our third image here, and I'm gonna hit run once. Now, how do we know this has worked? It will pass the approval filter, and it will only run the first one. If you didn't have filters on this, by the way, guys, it would fire all 5 of them off. So what do? We hit run once, and this one should get a 1. Perfect. Ah, look, it slipped through the scale for 3 as well. So we need to check out what's happened there, right? Because that's not correct. Not equal to. Do you see what I mean about these filters? I've been caught out by the filters, and I was the one that gave the warning. I feel like I need to put the microphone down. That's not right. Contains case insensitive. Okay, but this is why we do it with filters, guys, because it can just get like a bit bonkers sometimes when that stuff happens. So let's rerun the whole thing again from the top. Right, rerun this guy. Perfect. Come over here. Let's run this in the background. We're gonna do it a second time, and then this time, all being well, we'll actually be able to grab it, and the filter will hold up to its rigor. That's so funny. The filter failed, but it just that's why you got to test it, and like you want as fewer points of failure as humanly possible. That's now grabbing the webhook, which is beautiful. We can see the progress happening in the background. Now, this one's waiting. So if you ever see waiting, it could be for different reasons. It could be that they're very busy, there's a queue. But if you leave it, it should go through to progress and hit green eventually. If you wait a lot, it will come. But I found the speed to be really cool actually with Midjourney, which is beautiful. Really cool. Cool, so waiting for this now to come through. Let's check out how the progress is coming along. Nicely is what we like to see. And that'll come through here. And I'll also just say, I've been looking at the Midjourney images a lot recently, and dude, they're really next level. I can't wait till the next generation comes out. I mean, it's already pretty indistinguishable from real life, so the next level is going to be something completely different. It's done. Perfect. We come in, I did a record. Do I see a new record? Of course I do. I see a great record here. Let's check it out. Let's come on. Let's copy the list. Let's come over. Let's say goodbye to that one. Look at the new one. And just see how different that is, by the way. That's insane. Wow. Okay. Some really beautiful images. Let's say that we like number one. We think number one is the one. So what do? We come over here, run once on new level. Because I'm saying now, wait, hold on a second for this one, okay? Then we've got this. So we come over here. We come off that. We said, you know what? I'm happy with that. Post that as number one. We hit number one. We come over here. We run this module once, and it should just give us this one. And guys, it has, of course it has. We come back here and let's grab the webhook. So we click on this, we come down to result, we've got this URL. If I enter this, I should see this image upscaled. I put it into chat, I enter, and there's the image entirely upscaled. So the final part of this automation is click on plus, it's coming over, it's coming on Word. So not Word, it's stock, isn't it? We want to scroll down a little bit. We want to insert an image to a document. All right, click a document. You're right there, Link. Sorry, my dog is scratching himself in the background. Bless him. He's like a puppy still. It's insane. Midjourney automation. Click OK. Cool. All right, sweet. Now we come down. Now we come down a little bit. It needs the image URL, and all we're gonna click on is URL. Now here you see I've selected URL, but sometimes, guys, it will not work that way, and you'll basically say instead, result will look like this, and it'll have summary next to you, and you'll be banging your head against the wall. You'll be like, why is this not working? And you won't be able to do anything with it unless you do something like this. Okay, so this is what you would do, okay? I've just come here to this agent. Now look, do this. So it's this curly bracket, one.result.url, and even if you're unable to see this URL under result, which happened to me, it basically has collection, you can't do it, this will enable you to pull it out. So that'll save you like 1 billion hours of figuring that out. Just a little tip, hopefully it doesn't happen for you, but it could, and if it does, that's how you fix it. I couldn't find that answer anywhere online, but you know what, man, for Jack Roberts YouTube channel, we got you covered, man. We got you covered in every angle. And we're done, guys. We're literally complete. So the only thing left to do now is to run the entire thing over again. Now, I think for the sake of doing something a little cool and fruity, we should change our RSS feed out. What do you think? Let's do that. Let's just change our RSS feed out, okay? RSS top. I really wish you were interactive. Might do live at some point. I don't know how I'd feel about that. It'd be pretty cool. So let's come down. Let's have a look at topics. Let's go for something in... You know what, man? I quite like the idea of doing something in YouTube. In the spirit of being on YouTube, let's do something YouTube related. Seedman condemns the arrested YouTube journalist Felix Gerald. Actually, do you know what? I've just immediately changed my mind. I'm going to go for something like photography. Because I'm just thinking like YouTube, like that's going to be a funny one, right? Okay, cool. Northern Lights, that is perfect. Click on Save Feed, click on Copy. Let's go over to level 1 of automation. Let's scroll over. Let's go to RSS feeds. Let's enter the URL. Click OK. Now, let's set this up perfectly. Come down here. Let's run once. And by the way, guys, Airtable is very robust. I could delete absolutely everything in here. Like so. And if you've got clients, it's a lot easier for them to use Airtables and Google Sheets. I have done Google Sheets videos. Just click run once. Come here. That's running in the background. Because a lot of people love Google Sheets and they want to run the automations on there. But in my personal opinion, Airtable is a lot more robust. There are other options, and I can explore those options if you like and show you the different softwares, but it's just a great way to get started and robust. The Twitter agent's complete. The Midjourney bot's crafting our prompts, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. And then we're going to be able to get started when it goes to Google Docs. Okay, cool. That's complete. We come back over. We're now waiting for the webhook. Let's give it a little check. It is in progress. It'll be done very, very shortly. Excellent. That's complete. Now we come back over to create a record. We head over to the record, and it's appeared almost by magic, some would say. Let's take a look at the image. Let's copy that. Let's come back over and see what we've created. Wow. So this article, I'm guessing, is about how you capture the Northern Lights on your phone. I got married in Iceland, and we just about saw the Northern Lights. It was so sick. Wow. I mean, guys, this is gorgeous. I absolutely love that. So we go bottom left. And by the way, these images are designed for iPhones. So say we look at that. Let's test the reroll functionality. Shall we test the reroll functionality? Let's say, do you know what? Nice, but I want to reroll. So to test the reroll, we're just going to come back over here, run this once. In reality, this will be running 24/7. So we say access denied. Let's click on reroll. We come back to our third scenario and we run it once. And this should go to our reroll. Oh, what's happened there? status, reroll, and nothing's happened. So why has nothing happened? Well, let's take a quick look to see what we set up in our reroll section. As you can see, guys, we didn't specify the status. So we click on status, reroll, and then we come back. All right, cool. So what I propose we do is we come back over now to our journey thing here. Let's go back to nothing, and then let's go back to reroll, and then let's try that one more time. And we hit run once. Cool. And look at that, guys. It's gone straight for the reroll, which means if we come back to scenario 2, this webhook will grab it, and we can see that in the dashboard that we rerolled it. Hashtag reroll. It's what we love to see. So then we're going to see a second batch of images. It's going to be cool to see if it can beat these 4 actually, because those 4 are gorgeous. So that's now working in the background, progressing through quite nicely. It's what we love to see, that bar go in the right direction. And by the way, guys, another cool way to stay in touch is by newsletter. I've launched one recently about like some really high value, short, sharp, not wasting your time tips. So if you want to stay in touch that way too, there should be a link down below in the description. Just click the button and you'll be able to keep in touch with me there too. So let's have a look then. So we come over to Midjourney Airtable and we've got a new one. Cool. So we click on this, let's copy it, and then let's replace these ones and see what we think. And that top left one, guys, that just might win AI Photographer of the Year. I absolutely love that one. Cool, so we come back over now, and I think you might have guessed what we're gonna give it right. We're gonna give it level 1, but before we do that, let's come to our last one. Just click on modules not set up. No ways they're not set up. Let's scroll down. I think it's okay, right? Run this one once, come back over, we're gonna come here to our Midjourney thing, and then we're gonna say status is level 1. Thank you very much. We come back over here, we click run once. It should go through to here, it's upscaled. And now this has grabbed it, add into the Google document, and we should now see in the document this image. Do we see it? And there we go, guys. It's there. And you just completed the Midjourney approval system. The last thing I want to say in this video to you, it's really important, is if you want to be able to DM me directly, you want to be able to get live support with different individuals, join masterclasses, and take this incredible skill set to a new level, I'd really encourage you to join our school community down below. Unlock in the price I set today. I genuinely would love to have you over there and join this incredible community we've got of like honestly amazing people. I would love to see you down there. But in any case, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.